I told her I wasn't in her HOA, and she called the cops like I had just confessed to a crime. I was sweaty, holding a rake. Barely done cleaning up my own yard when this woman, a complete stranger, started shouting at me about bylaws like she ran the entire county. At first, I honestly thought she was just lost. Then I thought maybe I was. But the moment she said, "People like you always cause problems," I realized this wasn't confusion. This was a power trip. Now tell me, what would you do if the cops showed up over something this ridiculous? I was out there fixing my fence, minding my own business, when she appeared. Cynthia Cole. And behind her, half the neighborhood, following her like she was leading a parade. She pointed right at my lake and announced, loud enough for everyone to hear, "HOA amenity, right here." I stopped hammering and looked up, trying not to laugh. Did she just claim my lake belonged to her HOA? 4 weeks. I'd been getting these absurd letters accusing me of violations like my property had magically become part of Willowbrook Heights. Overnight. Turns out, Cynthia had decided to redraw the boundaries herself so her HOA could list my lake as a community feature. Why? To boost her home prices and her ego. Cynthia had been president of that HOA for 3 years. And apparently, that wasn't enough power for one person. Now, she was standing there in her neatly pressed khakis and matching polo shirt, holding a clipboard to her chest like a badge of authority. You need to follow community standards just like everyone else. "Jack," she said, with that fake sweet tone people use right before they do something awful. I kept my eyes on the fence post. "That's interesting, Cynthia," I said calmly, "because I'm not in your HOA." The air went still. She went silent for 3 long seconds, just long enough for me to imagine the gears grinding in her head. Then her face turned red. She fumbled for her phone like it was a weapon and snapped, "We'll see about that." And before I knew it, she was calling 911. Yep. You heard that right. She called the cops over a property boundary disagreement. I actually had to stop and stare. Even her own little crowd started whispering, unsure whether it'll be embarrassed or impressed. But the best part? When the cops actually showed up. That's when things went from absurd to explosive. You won't believe how it ended. Hit the link in the comments to watch the full story unfold.